Minnesota, and they may or may not be in the playoff tournament. And as we wrap up here, play-in tournament. As we wrap up here, we don't know too much about the Western Conference play-in tournament right now. We do know that it's going to be Dallas and Sacramento. So I guess we can talk a little bit about what we expect from that matchup. It's not the most exciting, but in the Eastern Conference, looks like we're going to maybe get Orlando, Atlanta, or Orlando, Chicago. I don't know. There's a lot of teams, and I guess we just look at I know we mentioned if any of those teams are scary at all. We don't have to get too deep into it because we don't know anything. And by the time you hear this, it may be more set in stone. All 30 teams are in action on Sunday, so it actually might not be set until the final day of the season. But the play-in tournament is next week. So what are your preliminary thoughts going into the play-in tournament, I guess?
I know we broke down the Eastern Conference play-in tournament a couple weeks ago, and I don't really think that any of those teams make any noise, but it is just kind of funny that like every single year it feels like it's the Heat, the Hawks, and the Bulls, and then like, whoever decides to join like that invitational. But fourth guest, like it's like the Champions Classic at the beginning of the year, every college basketball season, where it's like Duke, Kentucky, Michigan State, and you know what I mean? Like
that is true.
Like, that's like it's just that version. The play-in tournament, Eastern Conference play-in tournament is the Champions Classic for the Bulls, the Heat, the Hawks, and whoever the fourth guest is that year. But, Orlando is a team that's like, I don't think that Cleveland or Boston is going to be dying to play that team in the first round. Paulo is starting to figure it out efficiency wise. He's averaging 30 points per game after the All-Star break. Franz Wagner, also obviously an incredible talent. Like, I don't think they can score enough to keep up with either. Offense stinks. I don't think they can score enough to keep up with Boston or Cleveland, but they have enough intriguing pieces to make a series ugly. We talk about Trae Young, like he's the type of player that, they'll probably get gentlemen swept. But that one game, Trae Young is going to go crazy and he's going to hit a game winner from like half 14. Court. And it's, right. Yeah. And it's like, it's entertaining to watch. The Bulls are playing really good basketball right now. The Heat are playing better basketball. So, it'll make for at least an entertaining play-in tournament. And then when you look over to the Western Conference, like the Kings are like the most Jekyll and Hyde team in the league. Like there are some nights where like DeMar's got to go in, Levine's got to go in, Sabonis has got to go in, and they're all putting up crazy numbers. And you're like, wow, this is a really lethal offense. Like this could be a pretty dangerous team. But they also don't play a lick of defense, and you never know what team is going to show up. And then like with the Mavs, it's, I think they're still trying to figure it out. They got all of a sudden they have all their bigs back, and the front court is all set. But like, who the hell's playing guard? Who's playing on the wings? Like you have no idea who's showing up for that team night in and night out because they're still dealing with injuries and stuff like that too. So, I don't really see either of those teams making a lot of noise, but where it does get interesting is like, at the time of recording, the Warriors and Timberwolves are the first two teams out, and they're the first two teams at the top of the play-in race. And all of a sudden, like we keep saying, Oklahoma City having an all-time great season. Your first round reward might be Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've seen crazier things. Like we've seen 8-over-1s before. Shout out to the Jimmy We Believe Warriors. Yeah. We've seen Jimmy Butler take a play-in team all the way to the NBA Finals. We've seen the Warriors as a franchise do it before, 8-over-1. So it's really going to be one of those anything can happen type playoffs in the Western Conference, and we've been hyping it up for literally since the All-Star break. It feels like, and for it to come all the way down to the last week of the season like this. For the NBA fans that kind of tuned out during March Madness, maybe you're getting into baseball a little bit. Like, it's time to lock back in because every single game, including that game winner that Harrison Barnes hit last night, every single game matters the rest of the way. So if you're an NBA fan, it's time to tap back in.
Yeah, I'm going to circle back to that Harrison Barnes game winner. But I was going to say, especially if you're hearing this on Friday, hopefully you listen when we drop these, please tune in on Sunday because so much could be at stake and up in the air. I think the Clippers play the Warriors the last game of the season. It's going to be nationally televised, and it's going to have a lot of bearing on what happens in the standings. So we could see a play-in tournament Warriors team. We could see a play-in tournament Clippers team. Like there's so much stuff that's up in the air. So, I pointed out the other day, it was I guess it was Tuesday when we had the Knicks Celtics go into overtime. We had the Bucks come back from 24 down to beat the Timberwolves. And then we had the Thunder and Lakers in an absolute track meet. It felt like the playoffs had gotten underway already, and you and I had been talking about that already. So Sunday is definitely going to feel like a playoff preview because it will be, 6 days before the playoffs actually begin on Saturday, April 19th. As always, thanks to everybody who tunes in to the pod, wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure to subscribe on all podcast platforms, as well as follow us on YouTube and Instagram at NBA Sound System Canada. For Kyle Irving, my name is Gil McGregor. Thanks for tuning in to us this week. We will catch you back on here, same time, same place next week.